right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Bliss. Welcome to another weekly reading here on my channel. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. Today is Sunday. It's 1:11 p.m. Central Time. We are here for another weekly reading to discuss all of the energy, all of the astrology significances, and all of the spirit messages that come up for this week so we can be prepared and ready to go. We've got a very special day today. It's 2/2/2020. So this is really cool. They call this a palindrome. I can't say that word very well. Palindrome, which means that the date reads the same forwards as it does backwards. The last time this happened was about 11 years ago. The next time this will happen is in 101 years, 12/12/2021. So this is going to be our time to connect to this for the last time of maybe our life, right? Unless we hit the jackpot and get that fountain of youth going, right? But super exciting. I'm so grateful to be here with you all. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time joining me, welcome. My name is Rissa Vibes. I'm an intuitive coach. I do international retreats, workshops, events, and inspiring experiences throughout the globe where I teach others how to tap into their own intuition and talk all about it on my Instagram, here on these readings, and all my events across the globe. So thank you for joining me here and welcome to this Web of Light community. And if you've already been a part of this Web of Light community, hello again. Thank you for being here today. So excited to see you all. This is the place where we get to connect every single Sunday and truly just center in on our own energetic connection, on our own spiritual advancement and evolution, and our ability to just come together as a collective, knowing that we're not alone and that we are absolutely one in this energy that we experience throughout our life. So exciting to have you all here. Go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know that you're here and where you're joining from. I see the Celestial Heart is here. Much love to you and hope all is well. Everything's great. Thank you for asking. Martha's here. Hey, Rissa. She says 2222. I've been seeing twos every day for a month. Same here, girl. I've been seeing twos everywhere as well, and lots of ones also. Eric DJ is here. Hey, Eric. Child 7328 is here. Super Sunday. Yay. So cool to be tapping in before the Super Bowl too. Absolutely. Anita's here from Houston. Beautiful day there. Wonderful. Lauren's here as well. Hello. PJ's here as well. Loving it. Lindsay's here. Hello, Lindsay. Good to see you. It is a beautiful day. Absolutely. I am so excited to get into these messages, you guys. There's so much to talk about. I've got lots of notes here, so I cannot wait to start. But first, I want to do a little review, and I can't remember the first card of last week, and I didn't write it down, but I know the card for the middle of the week and the end of the week. So if you watched last week's reading, feel free to let me know what the beginning of the week card was, because I have already forgotten. But at least for the middle of the week last week, we had Find Your Center, really strong energy of being able to connect to your inner being, really making sure to check in with yourself, really making sure to be actively involved in what you're feeling at the moment, and making sure you're finding balance and centered connection. And then the end of the week, Magic and Ritual card, which was where we're at right now. And that was from the Goddess Isis deck. And the Magic and Ritual card was all about really accessing your inner magic, your inner mystic, and being able to perform certain ritual, whether it be just lighting a candle and meditating, or whether it be putting your crystals out for the full moon at the end of this week, or whether it be just connecting to a journal practice or something very unique and routine for you to connect with spirit on. That is your opportunity to really tap into that magic and ritual this weekend. And I really encourage, because today is such an important day with this portal day, the 2/2/2020, that you take some time to really meditate and manifest today, because the energy for today is so strong in manifestation. All of those twos are a representative of unity amongst duality, things that you've noticed that don't serve you anymore, really coming into unification with what does serve you, and letting yourself do the work that is necessary to clear what doesn't serve you so you can truly integrate all that does. This is also a number for faith, for confidence, for trust and intuition and spiritual evolution and trust in your manifestations. And also it's a number for passion and connection and purpose as well. Your life passion, your life purpose really surfacing here and really giving you that extra validation that your life purpose and your passion is real and it is possible. And so this is a really dream centered, manifestation centered, goal centered day. So I'm super excited to go into more about this portal day in just a second, but at least that was the little bit of the review so that you can really tap into where we're coming from so we can get into where we're going this upcoming week of 2/2 to 2/9/2020. We're in February now, y'all, so this is really exciting. We moved from the graceful energy of January, the focus on grace that we needed to get through January. I will say that not everything was graceful in January, but we were able to gracefully move through it with that focus and to really help ourselves in the transition. And now for February, the annual reading for February, the card was Daughter of the Phoenix. So we're literally rising above, and that's why I titled this reading that today, because we're rising above fire, we're rising above distraction, we're rising above confusion, and we're moving into confidence, bravery, and true connectivity to our true path. So much to experience, so much to talk about. I see Jade is here. Hey Jade, good to see you, love. So let's go ahead and just start with these spirit messages of this week. I went ahead and wrote down all my notes for this week because these are all downloads and meditation through different readings, through different events I've hosted this last week, just prepping us for this week to come. So let's go ahead and start there. The first thing I was getting, and I see Susan's here too. Hey Susan, good to see you. So the first thing I want to say about this, well, actually, I'm being guided, you guys, to let us just have a second to center, to focus in, to really call forth that energy of last week that reminded us to check in with ourselves, especially since it's a portal day. So let's just take a moment right now, just bringing maybe your hands to your heart in the prayer position, or maybe hands on the heart, and just starting to breathe deeply. Nice deep breath in. Big breath out to relax, releasing any tension, releasing any distractions. Another deep breath in. And big breath out to relax fully, releasing any tension from the heart, releasing any worry, any stress. And another deep breath in, expanding in the heart center, really opening up to light of source and your guides. And exhaling fully to relax, relaxing into that connectivity within yourself. And just take this moment as you breathe just to check in with yourself. Noticing how you're feeling today. Noticing if there's any tension in the body, in the heart, in the mind. And just maybe setting an intention for how you would like to feel throughout this week, throughout the rest of the day, and throughout this reading. Maybe just pick one word or one phrase of how you want to feel. What is your center focus, your center intention? And we are in this magic ritual here, just doing these 3 breaths, just connecting to our spirit. This is a part of that ritual practice for this beautiful day, this portal of 2/2/2020. This is where it starts. Starting to wiggle your fingers and toes, waking yourself back up slowly, joining back to this place, and really bringing your intention, really bringing your connectivity, your center with you into this reading. It's so important that we stay centered this week and that we really allow ourselves to take the time to do so. So thank you for doing that with me. Okay, so now we're ready. Now we can get into the messages of this week to come. Let's start with the spirit messages, okay? The first thing that I was getting was to remember the stellium on January 12th, 2020, 2 weeks into the new year, about 3 weeks ago. And this stellium was that conjunction in Capricorn where Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter were all in conjunction in Capricorn. And that was the first time it had happened in over 500 years. The last time it happened was in 1518. Remember, we talked about the dancing plague that happened back then and all of these other really unique experiences back then that had happened. And so we're really realigning ourselves, reawakening ourselves to a certain understanding about what that means for us in this era. And what I've been getting most from this energy, revisiting it, is that we really are remembering the stellium and we're integrating that energy of that Capricorn conjunction, where the Capricorn was all about structures and systems and stability, and Jupiter was all about expansion of those things. And then Pluto was about rebirthing the structures and stability and systems in our life so that we can feel a new version of expansion with that Jupiter energy. And then we had Saturn teaching us some tough lessons, giving us a little tough love, and really giving us a sense of urgency to change and shift the things that we might have been depending on it back then in 2019, and shifting into a new structure, a new foundation, a new set of belief systems, a new set of energy, of structure, of organization. And so we're feeling that this week, and we're gonna keep integrating this energy throughout the year. But Spirit just kept telling me to remember the stellium, because that is everything we talked about around that time, January 12th, was what we're really experiencing now. Though all that was a warning, right? It was all a prediction of what was to come. And now we're really in that energy, and we're feeling things that we are used to, things that we grew comfortable with, kind of falling away, fading away, restructuring, aligning to something different, or just completely releasing out of our life. And so we're feeling this sense of rebirth still, even to this day, 3 weeks after that stellium. So feel into that. Notice how you've been rebirthing over the last 3 weeks. Notice how you are reborn from other experiences of the past. Notice how you feel in the new organization, the new systems of structure, the new stability that you're having and that you're creating, that you're building right now. And with this 2/2/2020 date, we want to let ourselves reflect on what we feel like we still need for stability and support, what we still need for accomplishment and goals that we are really aiming towards, and how we can manifest them by simply putting our intentions into that space and our attention into that intention. So really allowing ourselves to keep reminding ourselves of our intention, keep reminding ourselves of our goal, keep reminding ourselves of what we need for support and structure and what we're building, and let that rebirth, let that fully build up under us. And so allowing that rebirthing, not fighting it. We are in a lot of fiery energy this week, which is going into the next message. We're back in the fire. There's a lot of fire this week. We've got that Leo full moon, which is a fire sign. Mars is a lot of influence astrologically, which we'll get into in just a moment, which is also a fire planet. We have a lot of fire in the energy of the card we pulled, the Daughter of the Phoenix, for February. So we're rising above fire. And with fire, the fire energy, there's often a sense of urgency, a strong sense of drive, a strong passion. Sometimes the shadow sides of fire come up as well, where there's anxiety, anger, and the sense of fight, the sense of irritability, or this need to fight for something. And so we just want to make sure we keep that at bay, that we pay attention to the shadow aspects of that fire energy, and we do our best to transmute those energies, the anxiety, the anger, the fighting spirit, into something that's going to actually work for us, into a sense of passion, into a sense of drive, into a sense of fighting for your dreams and really fighting for your self-love, or whatever that means for you, really turning it into something positive. That way we can stay in balance, we can stay in harmony, and we can really harbor those energies into something useful. Another message I got about the fire is to rise above it. Don't try to put the fire out. There's a lot of things going on. There's some chaotic energy still happening since that stellium. We've been feeling it throughout January. We're feeling it still kind of starting to trail off in February. So we really want to make sure that we're rising above the fire. We're not trying to put too much energy in avoiding the fire or putting it out or controlling it. Right? We want to just rise above it. We want to get out of the fire energy by rising into something different and by transmuting that energy. I'm going to be posting the month of February meditation for all of you to tap into this week so that you can really practice this ability to rise above the fire instead of trying to control it. So we'll have that practice on this page on YouTube very soon for you. And that's really going to help as well. But in the meantime, just allow yourself to rise above and don't put out the fire. Don't try to control it. Don't try to force it to go a certain way. Instead, just find a way to not be as influenced by it, not be as kind of internal with it, not to internalize that fire, not to take it personally, not to feel attacked, not to feel angry or resentful, not to let anxiety get the best of you, but instead choose to, what can I do with this fire? What can I move into that's not this fire? What is this fire inspiring me to move out of or move towards, and doing that instead of trying to contain it? Does that make sense? Let me know if you all have questions on that, because this is a really big message. It's really important for this week. I do feel like there's a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, a lot of energy this week that we're going to be going through. And we had a little bit of a calmer week last week, but this week is going to be a little bit more intense again. So just ride the waves. Remember, we talked about riding the wave last week. Ride the waves, let it happen. Linda's here. She says it's a challenge to transmute intense emotions caused from abuse of others. Absolutely. That anger can come up, that anxiety can come up. The best way, and that's part of it, is that you don't want to try to control that energy. You don't want to try to control the abuse. You don't want to try to transmute it because it's out of your control if it's coming from somebody else. The best thing to do is rise above it. How can you stay positive? How can you be resilient? How can you bounce back? How can you move out of that energy? How can you move away from that energy instead of trying to contain it or transmute it or try to force it to do something different? Most of the time, things like that, abuse from others, fiery energy from others, fiery experiences that are burning things away and clearing things, they're there to make you move away from that energy or away from the energy or towards something else. So really important. And yeah, I see how Eric's saying, try to ignore it. I would say that, but also not necessarily ignore it, because when we ignore something like that, we're not seeing the true significance of it. So I wouldn't say ignore it fully. I would say just try not to let it affect you as much, because you still want to observe it. You still want to say, okay, there's some fire here, there's some chaos here, there's a challenge here. What is that challenge trying to show me? What is that challenge trying to encourage me to do, inspire me to do? Maybe it's trying to tell me I need to be away from these people that are abusing me. I need to make sure I don't let them into my inner circle, or that I don't let them into my heart space. Maybe I don't share with them as much or get around them as much. So I need to just create boundaries. And then you kind of are able to manage that and react to that fire in a specific way, versus just ignoring and then not really paying attention to the significance of what the message is behind it, because then we might ignore it and then we're right back in that energy a week later because we haven't created the boundaries we need to. So yes, he says, I mean, acknowledge, then let them go. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Just wanted to make sure we were clear on that so that we can really have a good, clear way of reacting, because how we react to the fire is going to be the most important thing. And that's really where I'm getting at here. So let yourself take some time to center, to breathe, and then to react to that fire in a very healing way, healthy way, and a conscious way. All right. Okay, so the next message is all about distractions. Distractions are being thrown at us this week, and these are really kind of sneaky little distractions. These are things that when we let go of something, a lot of other stuff comes into our experience because we've let go. And this is your opportunity to discern what those new things that are coming in, which ones of them are actually useful and which ones of them aren't. So there's going to be a lot of energy that comes in. When we release something, maybe it's a relationship or a job opportunity or a belief system, when we release that, we instantly have new capacity to hold on to new things. And so the universe kind of throws a bunch of new energy at us. And some of that new energy is good for us, and some of that new energy is not so great for us. Sometimes that new energy can represent what we just let go of, and it's just in a disguise. It's just in a different, it's like a sheep in wolf's clothing, like a wolf in sheep's clothing, I should say. I don't know my little analogies, but yeah, so we want to make sure that that's not masked as something that we've let go of already. And so notice that. Notice if there's something that you maybe just released a friendship that wasn't serving you, and then all these other people start coming into your life, and some of them feel really good and really different and really good for your well-being, and then some of them feel like replicates of what you just released. That's a test from the universe to really see if you're learning from what you're releasing, if you're really releasing something and then choosing not to gravitate another experience just like it. That's so important. So honor that test. Let go of the distractions. Don't let them get in your way. Don't let them kind of redirect you to a place that you don't need to be. Really pay attention. Really pay attention to the details. Really pay attention to the energy. Really pay attention to what your inner being is saying. And don't entertain things that represent something similar that you've already gone through or that you already know isn't good for you. Because if it looks and speaks and feels like a duck and you just released a duck, then you probably shouldn't hang out with that new duck, right? You should just like say, okay, I'm done with ducks right now, right? Instead of trying to let another energy like that in. So hopefully that makes sense. So pay attention to where you are putting your energy, where you're putting your focus, collectively and personally. This is a collective energy and a personal energy. So wherever we're putting our attention to, and notice this in media as well. We have a lot of things going on in media. We have a lot of things shifting in the government and the social structures and the economic systems. If you pay attention to any of those private news sectors that kind of discuss all the updates and all those systems, there's a lot of things changing. I noticed the stock market's been crashing pretty significantly over the last several days. We know everything that's going on with Trump and the administration and the impeachment happening. We've got just so much chaos and confusion, just lots of energy around the globe that's shifting, the economic system. So where we're putting our focus is important, because things like, gossip in Hollywood or certain things that just kind of pop up conveniently that can kind of distract us from what's really going on can be something that's happening. So pay attention to that and make sure you're focusing on what is really shifting. That's a really big deal. And just don't let distractions get in the way of what you know you need to do for yourself, okay? Now, also, things are still rumbling in a collective perspective. There's still a lot of things happening with Mama Gaia. We had a lot more earthquakes last week in Puerto Rico. We are still seeing a lot of strange phenomena in the earth and in the sea and in the atmosphere. Paying attention to that is really important, because these changes are a part of that stellium. They are a part of those structures and organizations of the ecosystem and of the wildlife and of the natural forces of the universe shifting and really reorganizing, rebirthing in really powerful ways. And if we're not staying focused on that, we're going to miss some of the significant things that we need to know, because just as Mother Gaia transforms, it's a sign and symbol for us to recognize how we're transforming, because we are, just as much as we're an extension of Source, we're an extension of Earth as well. We are Earth beings. So we have to pay attention to how she's transforming, how Mama Gaia is transforming, because when we notice how she's transforming, we also can focus that in on ourselves. So we know that she's rumbling, we know that she's on fire, we know that she's been going through a lot of transformation and transmutation. And so that's also a testament to what we're going through. So it's important for us to focus on those things and see the mirror between us and Mama Gaia. I see a couple more people here, so thanks for joining, everyone. So good to see you, Carla. I'm so happy to see you. Linda's here. Carla says, I'm so done with ducks. Thank you, soul sister. Yes, I understand. Phil's here too. Hey, Phil, good to see you. So yeah, so really just making sure that we pay attention to that. Anything that's still rumbling, anything that's still unsteady, anything that's still unsturdy, make sure you release those, let those things fall away, let those things release, unless they're new things that just started happening and they feel a little unsturdy, only because you're just now getting that ground, that new ground built under you. So either you're in this place of deconstructing things that were your foundation and that you depended on, and that's making things a little unsturdy, or you're just rebuilding from that release and things are a little unsturdy. Whichever side of the process you're on, just pay attention to that and move accordingly. Keep building the new foundation if that's where you're at, and keep releasing the old foundation if that's where you're at. And then that sturdiness, that groundedness will happen. Releasing fear during this time is incredibly important. Fear is the root of a lot of anxiety, a lot of anger, a lot of that tension that we were just talking about, that need to fight. All of those shadow energies of fire are always based in fear. So if you can release fear, if you can step into your bravery, your courage, your confidence more often, and catch yourself when you're expressing out of that fear energy, then you're going to really be transmuting from inside out. And that's going to help you in moving through this shift, moving through this rebirth in a powerful way. And everything that you're going through right now, chaotic or not, is a part of positive change. We are in a place of positive change right now. So just honor that, accept that, especially with the 2/2/2020 portal that starts today. And this portal, let me tell you, is going to be lasting until 2/22/2020. So we've got a pretty nice window here. We've got 20 days, right? Which is like so perfect. So allow yourself to take this time in the next 20 days, starting today, to really honor this portal of manifestation, of visualizing all you desire, of reflecting on what you know you need, getting really clear if you're confused, getting really confident if you're insecure, getting really driven and focused if you're a little bit stagnant or lethargic or procrastinating on certain things. Take this time to focus intently and deliberately on what you want to create, because this is a portal of manifestation, a portal of unification, and a portal of divine passion and purpose. So let yourself choose it and believe that it absolutely is and can be. And so it is, right? Say that with us all together. And so it is. Whatever it is that you want in your life right now, and so it is. It's already done. Spirit wants this for you. You deserve it. So trust that. Move into it. Lean into it. And let go of fear and just keep moving forward. And I guarantee you, 3 weeks from now, in those next 20 days, you're going to feel so much more closer to your goal. You're going to feel so much more in alignment to who you truly are. You're going to feel connected with all the right things. And you're going to feel that sense of support, that sense of stability under you that's helping you lift into this new level of connection and spiritual evolution. It's going to be amazing, okay? So magic and magic and ritual of this is asking for what you want specifically, believing that you can have it, and then observing, watching it happen, okay? So first step, ask for what you want. Second step, believe you can have it. And third step, watch it happen. Okay, just sit back, observe, and watch it happen, and keep playing those 3 steps over and over for the next 20 days, and you're going to truly amplify the energy that you need. The next message is all about clearing your mind. Clearing the mind of clutter and chaos is going to help this process move faster. It's going to help you really perform those manifestations in a more fluid and beautiful way. So meditation is going to be really great for you right now, even if that means moving meditation, even if that means yoga or washing the dishes and just visualizing what you want, or cleaning the house, or riding your bike, or taking a hike and manifesting in that space. Whatever it means for you, just whatever helps you clear your mind, whatever helps you release clutter and chaos from your mind is going to help you really bring in your vision even more clearly, because it's going to be hard to visualize your desires when you have a whole bunch of clutter and chaos distracting you, right? So release the distractions of the mind as well and clear the mind. Check in with yourself constantly to make sure that you're not in that cluttered headspace, because the more you can be clear, the more that you can manifest clearly. Thoughts become things, and all of our thoughts are becoming things really, really quickly right now, because the manifestation is so strong. And ever since the new year, we've known that this is about 2020 vision this year, clarity. And that clarity has been happening so fast. Things have been shifting so fast, and things have been manifesting so fast. And it's going to keep going. So we really got to get good at using our thoughts become things perspective and making sure we're checking ourselves. What am I thinking about? Is that actually going to help me manifest what I want, or is it distracting me from what I want? Let me clear that then. Let me clear the cache and focus on what's actually going to be useful to me. And then, of course, make sure this is a playful experience, okay? We're letting our inner child play here. We want to have a sense of humor through some of the chaos, some of the fire. We want to just not take things too seriously. We want to laugh it off a bit. Maybe it just is ridiculous. Maybe you keep seeing the same thing that's just driving you crazy, or maybe you keep repeating the same loop of something that you just feel like you're so focused on clearing, but you keep repeating it. Just laugh at yourself for a second. Just be like, oh my gosh, human self, like, what are you doing? Like, you're crazy. Come on, get with the program, right? It's okay to laugh it off, to let humor be your medicine, and to know that it doesn't have to be so serious. Yes, there's going to be hiccups. Yes, you're going to mess up here and there. Yes, you're going to have experiences that repeat themselves that you wish they wouldn't. But guess what? If you can laugh about it, if you can look at it from a more positive perspective and just keep moving forward in what you know you need to do, then it's going to work out for you. It's when you start to get that anger, that resentment, that fighting energy that's going to make it heavier and harder for you to move past. So stay lighthearted no matter what's going on, and stay playful and curious and explorative of what you desire, because that's going to be a healing transmutation practice as well. Another healing transmutation practice is a shield of light. I encourage you all to do this when you're leaving a specific place, your home, your sacred space, right before you leave and walk out the door for the remainder of the day. Encase yourself in a shield of light. Imagine a beautiful beaming white light surrounding you, letting you know that you are safe, that you are supported, that nothing can come into this shield that you have of light around you. And just imagine that shield. I also encourage you that if you know that you're in the middle of a fire, maybe a really strong challenge, maybe something that you're just feeling really weighed down by, or you're just in the middle of a big change, a big shift, or some chaos, just imagine yourself in that fire. I want you to allow yourself to see the fire, because a lot of times we try to ignore it, we try to push it down, we try to pretend like it's not there, and that doesn't serve us, because there's information in that fire experience that we need. So I want you to take a moment and just imagine, what is the fire that I'm in? Is it a fire that's burning away relationships, friendships, belief systems, opportunities that weren't serving me? Or is it a fire I'm in that's instilling this new passion, this new inspiration, this new excitement, this new amazing exhilaration and movement forward, this quick moving pace? It might be a little bit of both. So just take your time and really focus on, what kind of fire am I in right now? And just envision a fire around you. Whatever color it is, doesn't matter. Just envision that fire. Imagine you're standing in the middle of it. And then I want you to just allow the emotions of that to flow. Just allow yourself to feel it for a second, because in those feelings, your spirit is trying to tell you something. Maybe you're angry, maybe you're frustrated, maybe you're impatient, maybe you're scared, maybe you're really excited. Whatever that emotion is that's attached to that fiery experience, just let yourself feel it for a second. And then once you've felt it, once you really feel like you're honoring your emotion, not surrendering to the emotion all the way, but just honoring it, just observing it. Then I want you to imagine a beautiful violet flame. I want you to start to transmute that fire that's around you into a violet flame, into a violet fire. Imagine that fire being consumed by this violet flame. And that violet flame is a transmuting flame. It's the flame of Saint Germain. And that flame, as you envision it, as you breathe with it, is going to be allowing any energy in that fire that you're experiencing to be transmuted into something even more positive for you. Really burning away the energy that doesn't serve you in that fire, and really amplifying the energy that does. And then I want you to imagine that violet flame lifting you up out of that fire, that challenge, that chaotic experience, and lifting you up into the spiritual support, into the spiritual light, into the spiritual liberation, and just feeling that transmutation happening, feeling that lightheartedness, feeling that beautiful energy and that shift, and just enjoying that and feeling gratitude for that experience, your ability to rise above the fire, to accept it, to understand it, and then to rise above it. And I want you to practice that several times this week and throughout the next 3 weeks during this portal. So go back to this message, go back to this reading, and practice that. I'll also incorporate a little bit of this practice into the February meditation that I'll be posting this week as well. So pay attention to that. Make sure you tap the bell for notifications so you can get that meditation practice also. So that shield of light and that violet flame practice is going to help transmute as well, and that playfulness. And then the last spirit message for this is deep cleansing and purification, is prep for new levels of wisdom, power, and light. So this fiery experience that we're having is cleansing us, it's purifying us, it's giving us that rebirth, and that rebirth is leveling us up into new wisdom, power, and light. So know that it's all powerful and it's all good for us to experience. It's all a positive transformation, okay? All right, so we're about 35 minutes in. I'm going to talk now about the Leo full moon. Hopefully everybody's doing good with these messages so far. I see Susan says, moving from a job to being self-employed, all good stuff. The rising of this phoenix fire. Yes, absolutely. Moving out of the corporate matrix and into the energy. That is moving me above the fire. Yes, I love that, Susan. Yes, and congratulations on your transformation. That is fantastic. So excited for you. Okay, so let's talk about the Leo full moon real quick. Oh, I should say real quick, the words, the intuitive words for each aspect of life. So for your work life, the intuitive word that I'm getting is enlighten. Enlighten is the word, really allowing yourself to enlighten yourself on what is available for you in your work life, whether it be like if you're like Susan, where you're moving into a new type of career, a new type of work setting, or whether you're in the same work setting, just allowing yourself to focus on enlightening yourself, observing what's really there, asking yourself what feels good in my work environment, what doesn't feel good in my work environment, how can I make myself feel better in my work environment, how can I enlighten myself here, how can I use what I have available to me in my work environment to make the most of it and to evolve fully. And then in love life, the message I'm getting for love life for this week is connectivity. Connectivity brings more love in, letting yourself reach out to others that you love, that you know love you and support you, connecting in love, connecting through love, really important right now, a sense of community in love, a sense of support, and honoring many different forms of love that is supporting you right now. And then in family, the intuitive word for family today groundedness, really allowing yourself to feel connected and grounded in, feeling stable, secure, feeling nurtured, making sure that your power is really active in your body, in your family experience, making sure that you're not being drained of any power, and also that you're not draining anyone else in your family of any of their power, feeling really grounded and stable in your connections with family is super important. And then the spirit word, the word for your spiritual growth this week, is pride. Feeling really proud of yourself for all the ways in which you've grown, all the ways in which you have leveled up, and proud of yourself for pushing through in this spiritual phase and this very strong transformative spiritual experience that we're having from that stellium 3 weeks ago, and as we move forward in this full moon in Leo that we're going to talk about now. All right, so the full moon in Leo is on Sunday, 2/9/2020. The numerological value of that date is 6. This is important because we're going to be feeling a lot of creative energy with the 6. The 6 is all about whatever you put into something, you're going to get back. So making sure you put in really beautiful energy so that you can get back really beautiful energy. So this is all about releasing fears, releasing stagnant energy, releasing insecurities, and releasing uninspiring experiences. That's what this upcoming Sunday's Leo full moon is all about. So when we release fears, we become more brave. When we release stagnant energy, we move. We get into that sense of movement. When we release insecurities, we experience more confidence. And when we release uninspiring experiences, we activate creativity and passion. So that's what this Leo full moon is all about. That's the transmutation of the energies for this focus of this full moon on Sunday. Now, the Leo full moon is also 20 degrees in Leo, which is another 20. So we're seeing even more twos next Sunday with this Leo full moon. Really powerful. And it's really encouraging us to find unity with what our biggest passion and purpose is. And so we want to focus on that this week as we lead into Sunday.